All right, welcome back, Saints. This is Minister Antoine Blair, and today we'll be going over Where Do We Go When We Die, Part 2. Now, at the end of Part 1, we were discussing Tartarus. And Tartarus is actually, it's a word derived from Greek mythology, which means the deep abyss. It was used as a dungeon of torment, of suffering for the wicked, and a prison for the Titans. Now, this is in Greek mythology. It was used in the Bible because they were Hebrew, but they were speaking Greek. They were in Greek culture, so they used the Greek terms to. My best guess would be they used them to relate to the Greeks. Um, so this was definitely something they used to relate to them. Okay, now moving forward. Now the word hell is used 53 times in the King James Bible. It's used 31 times in the Old Testament and 22 times in the New Testament. Now, like I said in the first video, they wasn't sure what Sheol and what the Great Abyss, the context of the words and the passages, so they just simply used the word hell. Um, Now moving on. Now I want to go into depth about the abyss. Now, this word is used twice in the ESV. It's in Luke chapter 8, verse 31, and it's also in Romans 10, chapter 7. Okay, now some other reference verses are Revelation chapter 9, verses 1, 2, and 11, chapter 11, verse 7, chapter 17, verse 8, and chapter 20, verses 1 and 3. And this is all in Revelation. Okay, so the abyss. Now, bear with me. The Greek translation of this word is he abusos, which is Heabussos. He abusos. Now, this meaning in Greek is very deep or bottomless, hence the term bottomless pit. Okay, now in the Septuagint, abusos is the equivalent of the Hebrew word tahom, Tehom, tahom. Now, it's kind of inaccurate to use the word tahom to refer to the great deep. Now, this refers to the great body of water, which is the source of all streams, rivers, and ocean. All bodies of water comes from the great deep. So the word tahom refers more to the great deep. Now, you can also see Genesis 1 and 2, Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 7, Psalms 24, verse 2, Psalms 136, verse 6, Exodus 20, chapter 20, verse 4, Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 8, and Job chapter 41, verses 32. Now, the abyss is not the lake of fire. Now, please understand this, that in Genesis, water came from the bottom of the earth, came from underneath the earth to water the earth. Now, there's water above the earth and there is waters beneath the earth. This is the great deep. This is the fountains of the great deep. This is the fountains what Jonah saw. He said, and he was compassed around the fountains of the great deep, and he saw mountains, and his head was wrapped with seaweed. I truly believe that Jonah was taken into the great deep. And please understand that this is the source of all waters, that our earth is encompassed by waters, according to the scriptures. So, this pretty much is going to wrap it up for part 2. In part 3, we'll be actually going to the scripture and we'll be reading Luke and we'll be diving into Abraham's bosom and the great divide or the great rift between Hades. Until then, God bless, shalom, and I pray that this blesses you.